What's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. And I know this video is probably going to increase the viewers. And spoiler warning, just because of the nature of this figure, there's going to be a lot of fan service. But again, you guys should be used to it. I mean, that's the state of social media today. Think about it, there's people all the time that post sexually suggestive pictures of themselves, throw up some stupid quibbit about their personal growth, and BAM! 1,000 likes. Now, you could look at it either two ways. Either it's really brilliant marketing, or you're just providing material for other people to whack off to. Either way, it draws attention to whatever it is that you're doing, and that's what I'm hoping this is going to do with this video. So last month, I actually did a video on this character for the first time. I didn't really know too much about her, but I knew that it was really cool, and I went back and I kind of looked at the comics, and actually she's very interesting, so I wanted to get some more pieces with this character and be able to review it in the show. So today we're going to review Extreme Replica's TB League version of Vampirella, the SHCC exclusive 1/6 scale figure. Let's take a closer look. Now, one of the reasons I was so excited about this figure is because of the fact that I really like the quality on the Red Sonja figure. This is manufactured by the same company, and this is absolutely exquisite, guys. The head sculpt here is brilliant. I love all the detail. The hair was done well. I love that it's coming just above her eye. Most importantly, the countenance in the face is great. The skin tone is fantastic. The paint in the eyes in particular is beautiful, and if you'll notice, she has a little bit of glitter there. This is done so well, particularly with the lips and the cheekbones. This great attention to detail also extends to the upper torso of this figure. Now, one of the things that I really like about her outfit in general is that it's made out of actual fabric, so those covering her mammary glands is kind of a faux leather. It's not sculpted, which adds a layer of realism. Now, one of the great things about this figure is that it is completely covered by a foam body. But most importantly, underneath that faux body is an endoskeleton made out of metal, which is fantastic, guys. Fortunately, there's a lot of options in terms of her wardrobe. I decided to go with the mesh kind of jacket, which runs the entire length of the figure, so to speak, right down to her boots, and it looks absolutely exquisite, guys. They actually use some really great materials here, very Hot Toys-esque in quality overall. It looks great. This is a different way to display this figure more than the traditional 1970s comic, so I think it's a really great and nice addition to this figure. Now, the lower to midsection of this figure is equally impressive, and one of the things that really strikes me about this figure is that there's absolutely no seam lines, which makes it look that much more organic. There's a lot of detail in her lower costume as well, particularly in the crotch area. That color looks great. That crimson red offset against that golden bat looks fantastic, guys. The skin color really makes it pop out. They did an excellent job, and again, because it is a foam insert, you can manipulate in a way so that it looks much more real. Now, by far, one of the most impressive things for me in terms of overall realism with this piece is definitely in her legs, particularly her muscular structure. They did an excellent job in making sure that this figure looks extra real. One of the things that I really like about it is that the quad muscles are very well defined. You clearly see that she's been working out, but they're not over-exaggerated, which is something that I do like. It makes it that much more real here. I also have to say, because of the overall engineering and the fact that it has a metal endoskeleton, makes this figure very poseable and extremely articulate. One of the things for me that I kind of check off my list of things that are absolute necessities in a figure is not only mixed media, but also different textures. And here we have an excellent example of this. Her jacket is made out of this mesh material, the actual costume itself is made out of a faux leather, and the boots here are made out of a shiny leather, which looks absolutely fantastic and contrasts well with the rest of the figure. It's also worth mentioning that the ankles are done on a ball joint system, so it makes them very malleable, and it's going to give you a lot of opportunity for some excellent poses. Now, this version of Vampirella comes with a lot of accessories, and this is one of the coolest ones. She comes with this really nice crossbow, which looks very real. I love the wash on it, particularly the paint job looks fantastic. It's very metallic looking, and those strings that go along it are fully functional. You can also retract the stock, which is something that's pretty cool, and I think they did a really good job with this. She also comes with this really cool skull, and I just had to pose her with it. It looks absolutely amazing. I especially like the way her fingertips grip it, and there are little indentations throughout the skull so that you can actually carry it in various ways. just take a look at the detail there, guys. The cracks in the skull, the eyes, the sockets. I mean, this thing is just gorgeous, and it begs for you to actually pose it with the figure. Very similar to the Red Sonja statue, I had remarked on how incredibly ornate and detailed the bases are, and here you're not disappointed either. This is absolutely beautiful, guys. The level of detail here is incredible. Just take a look at the skulls, the ground, that brimstone. I mean, just everything is done so well. And the great thing about this too, it has a very low footprint relative to the piece. I mean, just take a look at that, guys. Those skulls that are stacked on each other look amazing. And I have to remark, and I've said this before, but these TB League statues or 1/6 scale figures are really giving Hot Toys a run for their money. Now, as I mentioned before, this figure comes with a cacophony of extra accessories. The one main one is an extra head, which looks kind of weird. I mean, I understand that they're trying to be a little bit whimsical with it. She's kind of winking at you. It's a beautiful head sculpt. It just looks very bizarre, and I don't know, not really sure that I would display it with this, but again, it's an extra head sculpt. Now, part of what makes these figures pretty cool is that you get accessories that are added to the base or can be put directly on the figure, and you also get this extra bat and this pretty detailed werewolf hand. Now, the werewolf hand goes into a peg inside of the base, which is really cool. The bat, I'm not actually sure if you put it on the figure or if it goes somewhere on the base. I never quite figured it out, but nevertheless, they're both incredibly detailed, and we're just happy to have them. You also get a couple of nice brass rings that you can put on the figure, and you also get some bolts for the actual crossbow. Now guys, they're in baggies for a reason. Please be careful when you take these out. Again, I have a habit of getting overexcited when I take out these accessories. Sometimes I drop them on the floor and it takes me hours to find out and recover where the hell they're at because they just disappear. So please be very careful. They're also made out of really cool material. It's really high end, so don't lose them, guys. Now, if you decide to choose the option of displaying her without her coat on, you also get this really nice kind of arm bracelet, which is fantastic. It's very detailed. The only thing is that it's plastic, and I guess it kind of has to be so that it's a little bit more malleable. It would have been nice if they would have figured out a way to make it malleable but still make it metal. Overall, it is pretty detailed though. Now, I love the options that this figure gives you, and for those of you who are purists and are interested in more of a 1970s look or the way that she originally looks, you also get this nice cloak, which is very easy to put on. What I love about it is the contrast between the red and the black. It's this nice velvety color, and on the outside of it, it's kind of a sheen, so it does look very, very nice, guys. So it's nice that we get the option, but you know, it's up to personal preference, but thank God we have it. And finally, rounding out the last bit of accessories are 6 additional hands for various poses. They're incredibly detailed, I have to say, and I love the variety in them, particularly with her red nails. They contrast well against the rest of the skin. So guys, one of the things that I have to remark on is how incredibly impressed I am with the TB League line, particularly with everything that it comes with. Again, these are comparable to DX Hot Toys figure in terms of overall quality, but at a fraction of the price, so I highly recommend this. And I can categorize this one as a holy grail piece just because of the popularity and how much it's growing lately. Now, before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store for sending this wonderful piece over for review. And if you're interested in this and other collectibles, please visit www.bigbadtoystore.com. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Extreme Replica's TB League version of Vampirella, the SHCC exclusive 1/6 scale figure. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.
Distant